Thanks, Pat. Thanks for that introduction, and welcome everybody to our presentation today. One thing that is frankly enjoyable about working for a consulting company is that we're expected, expected might be not the best word, but we have the opportunity to go off and learn new technologies, to go learn the new practices in the industry, and when new products come out, we need to go learn those new technologies because our customers frequently ask about them. So we spent the last probably couple months or so, ever since Rational Team Concert, in fact the entire Jazz platform, 4.0 products were introduced, updating our Team Concert training to the new 4.0 version. We learned quite a bit about the new capabilities, new features, so we thought it would be a good idea to take some of that material and present it to the community as a webinar. And that's what you're going to see here today is a lot of the presentation material that comes out of our training for Team Concert. We've grouped those different topics in the Jazz server and IT infrastructure, as you see on the agenda there. We're also going to talk about some agile planning. There's been some, I think, great strides there to not only support agile planning principles like Kanban boards, but also to scale agile principles and practicals with cross-project plans. You'll see a couple other topics in there. There's some major changes with the source control management. There's the introduction of the Windows Shell. A lot of different ways to connect now to Team Concert source control. There's the Windows Shell. There's also support for the Microsoft source control interface as well that a lot of tools like Rhapsody and MATLAB desire to use to connect to a version control system. Well, we can do that now today. We'll talk about those topics when we get to them. Also, not a lot of enhancements with work items, but two, I think, critically important enhancements. The ability to get external value set providers. We'll see that when we get to them as well. And frankly, I'm not sure why it wasn't here sooner, but the notion of parameterizing our queries. So instead of having to hard code values in and run it every time, we can run a query and have dialog boxes pop up to fill in values at runtime when we run the queries. And then there's a bunch of changes around really, I like to call it scaling collaboration, but it really has more to do with, I think, almost managing collaborations for large systems and large projects. This, in my mind, is a huge need to a lot of our customers that have large projects. They have a lot of outsourcing. They have suppliers. They have subcontractors. In some scenarios, we have customers of ours that are working together on a project or program, or in another world, they're competing against each other on a project or program. So historically, that limited collaboration because we would have our work and our plans and our source control. We would have to keep that separate. Right, that would be in some private space, and we would have slow ways of handing off new versions of those things. Right, we'd give you a dump of our source control, the parts of it that you need anyway, or dumps of the work items or the plans, etc. We didn't all collaborate in the same environment, the same system, which was the most productive way and the fastest way, frankly, to get information back and forth. And the reason we didn't collaborate is there's certain work and source code that a supplier or subcontractor needs. But there's also a whole bunch of other stuff that we didn't want to let them see, right, that they shouldn't have access to. Well, in 4.0, Team Concert has given us a lot of control over specific files and directories for access control, specific work items for access control, even in the same project area. And we'll talk about that. In the previous version of the Team Concert, there was good control around team-based ownership as well as project-based ownership where we could restrict things. So we're going to talk about those as a background because I think those were underutilized. I don't think the community used those to the full extent that they could.